The Blooming Forest Magic. Once, upon a bright, sunny morning in Corona, Queen Rapunzel twirled happily around her tower bedroom. Her long golden hair swung behind her like a dancing ribbon. She had heard wonderful stories about the Enchanted Forest in the far north, and she could not stop thinking about it. There were whispers of magical spirits, dancing lights, and trees that hummed with ancient songs. Rapunzel clapped her hands and shouted, "I want to see it! I want to go today! I want to go right now!" Eugene peeked in through the door and said, "You know you are the queen, right? You do not need to shout orders at yourself." Rapunzel laughed and kissed him on the cheek. Today she was going to Arendelle for a peaceful diplomatic visit, and she was bringing a special gift. She picked up a sparkling chest filled with Corona's legendary sundrop flower seeds. These magical seeds glowed softly like tiny stars. They were known to bring warmth, healing, and life wherever they were planted. Rapunzel thought, what a perfect gift for the magical forest. When she arrived in Arendelle, Rapunzel jumped out of her boat before it even stopped moving. "Anna!" shouted Rapunzel, wait, and fell into the water after her. Olaf laughed so hard he slid down the dock like a melting snowball. Kristoff helped Anna out while Sven shook water all over everyone. Then Rapunzel finally reached Elsa. She grabbed both of Elsa's hands and spun her in a big circle. Elsa laughed and said, "Rapunzel, it is wonderful to see you, but please do not whirl me into the fjord." Huge. After a warm feast and a castle tour, Elsa said, "Would you like to visit the Enchanted Forest with me tomorrow?" Rapunzel's scream of joy was so loud that a flock of ducks flew away in confusion. The next morning was bright and calm. The forest air sparkled with tiny floating lights. Gale whooshed around them, playfully lifting Rapunzel's hair and tangling it into knots over and over again. Bruni popped out and sat on Rapunzel's shoulder, turning pink with excitement. Rapunzel gasped, "You are so cute, I want to put you in my pocket, but I know I must not." As they walked deeper, Rapunzel opened her chest to show Elsa her sundrop seeds. She held it up proudly. But at that exact moment, Gale blew a tickle of wind right under Rapunzel's chin. Okay. She let out the most enormous sneeze. Achoo! The chest flew into the air. The glowing seeds scattered everywhere, raining down like golden sparkles. Rapunzel gasped. Elsa gasped. Olaf shouted, "Rain of happiness!" For one calm second, nothing happened. Then the ground trembled. Then the forest floor burst open with glowing vines. The sundrop seeds sprouted faster than popcorn. Tiny sprouts became flowers the size of pumpkins. Pumpkin-sized flowers became giant glowing blooms, taller than the trees. The vines wrapped around trunks, wrapped around branches, wrapped around Anna, who had come to watch. Anna yelled, "Elsa, help! I am being hugged too aggressively by a plant." Elsa freed her with a gentle wave of ice. But more problems appeared fast. The vines spread like excited puppies, bouncing everywhere. They smothered moss, blocked rivers, tangled Gale, and created glowing tunnels that led in circles. Rapunzel jumped right in. She flipped her hair round her shoulder and sang her healing song. She tried to push the flowers back into the ground. She tried to shrink them. She tried to tie them into neat bundles. But the more she used her magic, the faster they grew. One giant flower sprang open and launched Rapunzel 10 feet into the air. She bounced on a glowing petal and landed in Elsa's arms. Rapunzel said very quietly, "I think I made it worse." Elsa smiled kindly. "You were trying too hard to control everything. Magic listens best when we are calm, not when we are afraid of making a mistake." Rapunzel sighed. Inside her heart, she still felt like the girl trapped in a tower who always had to fix things to feel worthy. She whispered, "I just want to do everything right." Elsa touched her hand gently. "Rapunzel, you are already enough just as you are. You do not need to fix everything to prove yourself." They took a deep breath together. Then, Elsa said, "Let us try something new. Elsa raised her hands, calling soft snow magic to cool the wild sundrop flowers. The ice did not freeze them completely. Instead, it slowed them down like they were taking a long, deep, sleepy breath. Rapunzel knelt beside a large glowing flower. She touched its petal gently and said softly, "I am not here to force you. I am here to guide you." Her magic glowed calmly this time. The roots of the flowers began to move like gentle snakes. They lifted out of the ground and followed Rapunzel and Elsa slowly, peacefully. Rapunzel laughed through joyful tears. "Look, Elsa, they are listening." Together they guided the glowing plants to an empty meadow at the edge of the forest. The spirits danced around them. Bruni rolled in the glowing pollen like it was glitter. Gales swirled hearts in the air. The North Holdra people cheered when they saw the new Sundrop meadow shining like 1,000 lanterns. Elsa placed a hand on Rapunzel's shoulder. "You did not fix the forest by pushing. You guided it by letting go." Rapunzel smiled the warmest smile. "Maybe I do not need to be perfect. Maybe I just need to be me." Wren. They returned to Arendelle. Anna ran to hug them. Kristoff carried Olaf on his shoulders while Olaf sang "We Saved the Forest." Yay, yay, yay. Rapunzel laughed until her stomach hurt. Elsa felt peaceful knowing she had helped a friend grow in a new way. And so in the far north, the Sundrop Meadow glowed softly each night, reminding everyone that true growth does not need control. It only needs love, patience, space, and the courage to let go.